I'm Angela King. I'm the CEO for Volunteers of America, Texas, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about our history. Volunteers of America opened its doors 100 years ago in 1917 as a maternity adoption center. Maud Booth had visited the Lone Star State in 1894. When she co-founded Volunteers of America, Maud remembered the need she had seen in Texas during her many visits. By 1917, the state affiliate was up and running, caring for and finding homes for children. More than 11,000 babies received love and care through this program. In 1947, an explosion in Texas City killed almost 600 people, leaving thousands in the state devastated. The Texas City disaster was the largest and deadliest industrial accident the country had ever seen. Maud and her team at the Volunteers of America's headquarters immediately boarded a plane and flew to Texas, honoring our organization's mission to go wherever needed and do whatever comes to hand. Throughout the mid-20th century, the Texas affiliate grew rapidly. We have met the community's needs by providing affordable housing and programs to help people struggling with substance abuse, developmental disabilities, and employment. We have supported those in need and cared for them with compassion. Today, that legacy continues. I started my tenure here at VOA almost 40 years ago. And at that point, we had halfway houses. We were still serving reentry clients. We were still doing substance abuse treatment, and we began doing services for people with disabilities as the state institutions began to close, starting with the institutional setting in Fort Worth. And so my first job was opening some group homes as people began moving into community. From there, we've established one of the largest affordable housing portfolios in the country. Volunteers of America's name is synonymous with affordable housing all over the country. And if you go into any setting where that's being discussed, people know the name VOA. They know Volunteers of America. And because of that, we in Texas have the largest portfolio of affordable housing within the Volunteers of America family. We have almost 2,000 units of affordable housing serving seniors, people with disabilities, folks who go to work, and beginning now to do management for folks who have been formerly homeless and for other service providers who need some housing management assistance as they begin to provide supports to folks who used to be homeless. It's amazing to me that Volunteers of America started serving veterans. Our first veterans were Civil War veterans. And we're still serving veterans today, both in employment and trying to help folks get jobs, as well as to help folks with rental assistance and basic needs while they get back on their feet. Today in the DFW area, we have recently begun a new program called Supportive Services for Veterans Families that will allow us to build on the veteran services we've been doing for the past decade and add another component. One of the things that we've been known for since in my tenure, we had a great response to Hurricane Harvey. It's hard to believe that Houston was a city underwater. You don't think about Houston being on the coast, but certainly when Hurricane Harvey came along, we found ourselves responding to a disaster. We have a history of responding to natural disasters and being there for the people we serve, for our staff, and helping communities get back on their feet. So, I thought that the defining moment of my career would probably be our organization's response to Hurricane Katrina coming out of New Orleans, which allowed us to all kind of band together and support our affiliate there in the greater New Orleans area. I could not have imagined a worldwide pandemic. When we first met here in our administrative offices and reached out across our systems to say, hey, we're going to have to work at home, we're going to have to transition to virtual. I thought we'd be looking at a couple of weeks. I had no idea that we were going to be dealing with a pandemic for well over a year, even into 2 years. And some of the things we learned during that period of time, how to treat people virtually, how to meet people where they are, how we could do work remotely, how we could support folks who had to go to work every day. All of our services for folks in affordable housing, all of our reentry services, they continued. People still came to us for substance abuse treatment. Our group homes, they were still serving folks with significant disabilities. And you know, we did not have a single case of COVID in our group homes until vaccines had been available for a period of time and our people had started moving out in the community. For over a year, the staff working in those homes kept the residents safe from COVID. That is amazing. So, you know, we're dealing with COVID, we're starting, you know, it feels like the world is starting to open up, and then I get a call and start to look around at, we have snowmageddon and our electric grid fails. And all around us, people are cold, their electricity's been off for days, water pipes are bursting, you know, and we have folks who are dependent on us that are struggling, both staff and clients. You know, we got a call from one of the group homes and the staff person says, you know, the electricity's been off here for several hours. I don't know when it's going to come back on. And the guys who live in this home, they're cold and they're anxious. And he said, I have electricity at my house. How about if I just take them to my house? And so with our permission and blessing, he did that and he kept them there for 3 days until we were, you know, the world kind of started to right itself. He kept them there for 3 days. He fed them every meal. He said he'd never cooked that much in his life. The thing I've always enjoyed about working for Volunteers of America is we're able to respond to community needs. We're not prescriptive in doing one thing or two things, but we're able to respond to emerging needs in our communities. And I think that's the strength of our organization. But it also speaks to the tenacity and the resilience of the organization. We've been around, we're going to be around. And no matter what the world throws at us, no matter those unforeseen things that we could have never imagined would happen, we're going to continue to serve the most vulnerable among us, and we're going to continue to do that through the efforts and the daily efforts of staff around this state.